More on I-4 164th Underground Diecast Street Racing.
Welcome to round 2 of the 164th Le Mans Classic Diecast Racing Series. Today we're going to have the qualifying rounds. I'm your host, Cletus Papadopoulos, along with my co-host, Chuck McAvee.
Thank you, Cletus. I'm excited to be here because we have 5 new cars competing in today's event.
That is correct. We had 2 cars serving in 1 race suspension and then several other cars not participating for various reasons. I know these teams are eager to get out there on the track. They do have some ground to make up, but I'm sure it can be done. Before we introduce this week's teams, let's have a recap of last week. The number 2 Porsche was dominant, winning every single lap. The number 8 Ford was able to put together a late surge on the last lap to snatch second place from the number 5 Porsche. And here's how the remaining competitors fared. Last week, due to severe thunderstorms, no cars were able to participate in the pole position qualifying round. Therefore, the bonus 2 points were not awarded. This week, the drivers will be eager to get out there and try to obtain those bonus points.
Each car will have 1 chance to produce the fastest time down the track. All cars must start in the inside lane.
Before the first cars start going down the track, let's introduce you to today's competitors. Up first, we have the number 3 Porsche 917H. In the first race, it had a disappointing outing, but they look forward to regaining their composure and having better results in this race. Next up is the number 4 Ferrari 512M. The Ferrari franchise is known for being dominant in other series, and they expect the same here. They have a veteran team with an experienced driver.
Cletus, judging by the crowd, Ferrari appears to be a fan favorite here.
Not to be outdone, the number 8 Ford GT40 made a pass on the last lap of the first race to claim the number 2 spot. The team of the number 5 Porsche 911 GT has to be furious because the Ford passed them on the last lap to snatch those valuable points. However, this team is a strong competitor, and I'm sure they're going to be at the top of the qualifying box. The number 10 Mopar Dodge Viper showed great promise early in last week's race, but on the last lap, it struggled and fell all the way down to 5th place. In today's qualifying round, they're hoping for better results. Neither of the Soul Air teams competed in last week's race due to suspension, but the number 53 is a bit of a dark horse, so it's unknown what this team is going to do in qualifying, let alone the race. In last week's race, the number 21 Chevy Z06 Corvette struggled in the early laps, but on the last lap, it flexed its muscle and was able to climb all the way back up to 4th place. I know they're going to be at the top of the box this week. The second team serving in 1 race suspension, the number 55 Soul Air CX4, is another dark horse. We just don't know what this car is going to do. Now, they've looked well in practice, but can they put it all together for the pole position qualifying round? The number 76 Cadillac LMP historically has been a strong competitor in this series. Today is no exception. This is a young team, but they're eager to win. Here we have the 2019 defending champ. It's the number 1 Cadillac LMP. They have a veteran driver and they're going to be very solid. I look forward to seeing this car go down the track. Last, but certainly not least, is last week's winner. It's the number 2 Porsche 911 GTI. They've looked solid in practice and I think they're going to be very good in the qualifying rounds. But will it translate over to another race victory? Just wait and find out. Use the restroom and grab a snack because you don't want to miss 1 second of the qualifying rounds after this short break.
More on I-4 164th Underground Diecast Street Racing.
Thank you for watching War on I-4 Diecast Racing. You can follow us on YouTube and Facebook. We are actively seeking drivers for future races and events.
Welcome back. As you can see, the skies are clear. This should make for some very fast qualifying times. I'm excited to see what happens. Before we do, let's go down to Chuck. Chuck, how's it look in the pits?
Yeah.
Cletus, these drivers are intense and focused. They're looking for every edge to gain those very valuable bonus points. I look forward to this race.
The number 8 Ford GT40 is at the green light. Let's see what it does, Chuck. There it is. The Ford GT40 just put down a time of 8.07 seconds. That's going to be a pretty quick time. Let's see how well it holds up against the rest of the competition. We still have a lot of cars to go. The number 55 Soul Air CX4 is at the gate. The number 55 Soul Air put a time of 8.59 seconds. That's not going to be fast enough to take it to the top of the board. I don't think it'll hold up at number 2 either. It looked like the car struggled all the way down the track. Chuck, what do you have on instant replay?
Well, the Soul Air looked good coming down the first straight, but as it hit the first turn, you can see the back end starts to break loose. They appear to struggle with this all the way down the track. You're going to have to fix that tire grip issue on the rear tires.
The third car to qualify is last week's winner. It's going to be the number 2 Porsche 911 GTI. Let's see what it can do, Chuck. The number 2 Porsche crosses the finish line at a disappointing 8.70 seconds. The team can't be happy with that run. That's only going to put them up to 3rd place on the leaders board. I know they had bigger expectations, especially with their performance last week. Chuck, what does the team have to say?
Cletus, I'm down here on pit road, and as the vehicle pulled into the garage, several crew members shook their head in disgust. I did speak with the crew chief who said they were experimenting with several race performance setups, which did not work out for this run. I believe they're going to pay dearly for it come race time. I don't believe this time it's going to stand up in the number 3 spot.
Thank you, Chuck. I agree. This time will not hold up in the top 3, especially with so many cars yet to make their qualifying runs. The crowd is going crazy as a favorite pulls into the starting gate. It's the number 4 Ferrari 512M. Ferrari crosses the line with a respectable 8.38 seconds. While that is a good run, I don't believe it's going to be good enough to hold that number 2 spot, especially when there are so many other vehicles in practice that had faster lap times. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Ferrari started out well, but as they entered that back straight towards the finish line, the rear end was all over the place.
Sources tell me the Ferrari was on a medium compound tire, and as you can see, when it made the turn and came along the back straightaway, it lost a lot of speed. In the gate is the number 5 Porsche 911 GTI. This car had a great performance last week, so let's see what happens. This Porsche team continues to show why they're one of the best. They ran a very fast 8.09 seconds. That's the smidget off the top spot. That's going to put them at number 2 on the leaders board, and I think they're going to stick close to there. The number 10 Dodge Viper is looking to improve from its last race. Here we go. And the struggles continue for the Mopar Dodge Viper. They put in the second slowest time of 8.65 seconds. That's going to put them in number 5 on the qualifying poll. Hey Chuck, what did it look like down there on the track?
Well, Cletus, as the vehicle left the gate, it didn't look like the power was there. They had to work cut out before the race.
I guess the crew's going to have a long night of wrenching on that car to get it up to speed before race time. Good luck to them. Ladies and gentlemen, the anticipation is over. The defending champ is at the starting gate. It's the number 1 Cadillac LMP. The number 1 Cadillac team can't be happy with that 9.13 second run. They've already missed one race, and that's not how they intended to start their campaign in 2020. That's going to put them all the way at the bottom of the leadership board. It's the second of the 2 Cadillacs participating in the race. It's the number 76. If you recall, this car did not participate in the first race, so they've had limited action. The number 76 Cadillac just clocked in at a time of 9.03 seconds. That's going to put him just above his teammate in 7th place. Chuck, what's going on down in the pits?
After watching both Cadillacs make their run, it's very clear neither car has the power to compete with any of the top qualifiers today.
We'll be eagerly watching to see if both Cadillacs can turn it around come race time. If not, it's going to make for a long day. There are 3 remaining cars left to qualify, and the Ford GT40 has remained in the top spot. Can the number 1 Chevy Z06 Corvette claim that top spot? Let's see. The number 21 Corvette put in a time of 8.37 seconds, bumping Team Ferrari down to number 4 as it claims the 3rd spot. The number 3 Porsche 917H was not up to par in the last race. It fell from 3rd place all the way down to last place. They're going to need a lot of lady luck on their side this week. What a great run. The number 3 Porsche team just put in a solid time of 8.50 seconds. That's going to put them right in the middle of the pack at number 5. Way to turn it around. And then there was one. The number 53 Solaire CX4 is at the start gate. It's a dark horse, so I don't know where it's going to fall on the board. It's a new record. It's a new record. The Solaire CX4 just put in a time of 7.47 seconds. That's a new track record, and it's going to put them at the top of the leaderboard for the next race.
I didn't see this coming. The number 53 car shot out of the gate like a rocket, and it didn't let up until it crossed the finish line.
That was a terrific run. What a way to close out the qualifying rounds. Here's how the cars are going to start for race number 2. On the pole, you're going to have the Solaire CX4 with a time of 7.47 seconds. Next to that, you're going to have the number 8 Ford GT40 with a time of 8.0 seconds. Behind the Solaire is the number 5 911 Porsche GTI with a time of 8.09 seconds. Next to that is the 21 Chevy Z06 Corvette with a time of 8.37 seconds. Then you're going to have the number 4 Ferrari 512M with a time of 8.38 seconds, followed by the number 3 Porsche 917H with a time of 8.50 seconds. Then you're going to have the 55 Solaire CX4 with a time of 8.59 seconds, followed by the number 10 Mopar Dodge Viper with a time of 8.65 seconds. Then you're going to have the number 2 Porsche 911 GTI with a time of 8.70 seconds. And on the last row, you're going to have the number 76 Cadillac LMP with a time of 9.03 seconds and the number 1 Cadillac LMP with a time of 9.13 seconds.
Well, Cletus, that exceeded my expectations. The build-up and the excitement was amazing. I tell you, the weather was great. The fans enjoyed every bit of it. And I look forward to race number 2.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time. If you enjoyed the qualifying rounds, come back for race number 2, Sunday night at 9 p.m. You can find us on YouTube at War on I-4 Diecast Racing. I'm your host, Cletus Papadopoulos, along with my co-host, Chuck McAvee. Thank you and good night.